Ah, okay, so this is where we're at. This is Baruch, and we've been talking about who is Mordechai, and we answered. Mordechai is another word for the Ataras Yesod of Abba, which is so long that it penetrates the Yesod of the Nukva. It comes out free and shines like crazy. Now, let's think about Haman for a second. Today is the 5th day of the month of Adar 2. Haman had been looking at the cycles. This is the cycle, if anybody knows from the definitions of astrology of Pisces. And Pisces is this 12th house. It's the house of death. It's the house of transition from physicality to spirituality. Interestingly enough, in his perception of the cosmos, Haman was able to see that their anpin of the cosmos, of Olam Atzilus, he's able to look at this. He's going to sleep. And this is approximately in 2 days. That's the time he chose. And mostly the Meforshim say that this is the time that Moshe Rabbeinu died, and it's also the day he was born. It's just an interesting kind of phenomenon. It's a mixed thing, and he just thought this is the time to strike. But it's also because, this is what the Rav is telling us, I believe, it's also the time of the Dormita of Zeranpin. And Haman sees this coming. So now we know that there's a Mordechai out there, and here is a picture of Mordechai trying to gossip like this, is that this is supposed to be the idea of all the Mochin coming into Malchus, which is Rachel, and the Mochin of Abba, that is the Ataras, the Yesod of Abba, sticks all the way through Rachel and shines brilliantly by itself in a revealed kind of way. Here is the Rab speaking now. And we're going to read his words like we do first, and then we'll look a little bit at the Tiv HaKavanos to try to help us translate and keep moving. So we're talking about the Sod of Kriyas and Megillah, of Hatam, V'tam his pashtus be'esa kriya. That is that when you're reading it, you keep spreading it out, spreading it out, spreading it out. It's in a roll, but we spread it out. So the Rab writes, V'zechu sod kriyas and Megillah. This is the secret of the reading of the Megillah. V'gam his pashtuso be'es kriyas. And also, as it is spread, we spread it out as we're reading it. The tam pirsum hanes. And the reason we do this is because we want to magnify the miracle that takes place here. Vu inyan ha'aras ataras malchus to Abba. And what is it? It's the inyan of the revealed ataras of Yesod, that is the malchus of Abba, going all the way through the Yesod of Ima and of the Nukva rather, and revealing itself on the other side. Hamizgala v'yotza the chutz, which becomes revealed and goes out. Let's read a little bit of the Tiv. We'll punctuate it and go on. He says the Megillah hi bebechinas ataras Yesod Abba. It's the concept of the ataras Yesod Abba, which is Abba's malchus. Shenikras gam malchus to Abba. It's also called the malchus of Abba. V'yedei kriyasa, and as you're reading the Megillah, mamshecha ha'rasa l'chutz. That is the process. It's the secret that you have to understand. How does it get out, and what is the process? The energy. It is the reading of the Megillah that causes it to penetrate and shine out. For the Chaim Sarach b'shas kriyas and Megillah, the poshtach Igeris. So you have to. Igeris apparently is a very long written document. So he says the poshtach Igeris, to spread it out like an Igeris, the prosumi nisa, to publicize the miracle that takes place on Purim, which is the development of the ataras of Yesod of Abba, his malchus spreading beyond the Yesod of the Nukva. So the Gilui Ha'aras Ataras with Malchus the Abba, the Yom Zeh, that happens on this day. V'chein Nikras Megillah, so that's the reason we call it Megillah, Loshen Gilui, revelation. That's what a Megillah is. Now Gal is also like a heap, but here we have Megillah, the reading of which causes the Ataras of Yesod Abba to appear beyond the Yesod of the Nukva. And since It comes out from the Yesod of the Nukva in a complete and total revelation. But Sarek L'Golosel L'Parsma. So therefore it's necessary to reveal her and reveal this fact that this is happening and to publicize it. Then he goes on and he says like this. I said, well, I think we're in a different place. This is number Lamed Vav. Okay, Lamed Vav, we'll read Lamed Vav. We're reading the Mata B'Devash only, and he said Megala. So this word Megala, who below Yud. So you could write the word Megillah, just take the letter Yud out. If you take the Yud out of it, Ola B'Cheshben Ayin Ches, it comes to the gematria of 78. 78 is Mispar Shlosha Shemos Havaya. It's Havaya, 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 which means 3 lines of mercy. The right line, the left line, and the middle line of mercy. Shekol Shem, Hu B'Cheshben Kaf Vav, because Yud Kei Vav Kei is a gematria 26. The Shlosh Pamim 26, so you take Ku, Ola Ayin Chesed comes to this number. A Marum V'Tev is Megillah, so you can also see that there's a reference to this in the word Megillah. Pamim Shem Havaya Keneged Shlosha Mochim Chochma Bina Das the Ratan, when the name Havaya is going to have to correspond to the Shlosha Mochim of Chochma Bina Das. Hamaluvashim Tochnai the Ima. So this also, the concept is that these 3 codes also represent the Mochim that are coming through the Ataris, the Yesod of Abba, and just spilling out. It's a light of salvation. So they are revealed, that is the Chochma Bina Das, the Chabad, which is of Zer Anpin, or the Chabad that is contained within the Nai of Abba. Now let's try to understand this. They come through, in other words, this Nai of Abba, which contains Mochin inside of it, comes right straight through, and now it's revealed. So now the Tiv comes and helps. He says, so explain this. We understand that when the Yesod of Abba is now through and out, only the only thing that is revealed from it is the Das that is in the core of it. So in other words, he says that it isn't, in fact, the Yesod is the middle line. Part of the middle line. The middle line would be called Kedaktim, if you want. Kedaktim. That is Keser, Das, Teferes, Yesod, Malchus. That's the middle line, Kedaktim. So if we see like this, it said, so if you just said that this is coming after the Naid of Abba is exposed, but wait a minute, the Naid of Abba is not exposed, because the Chochmah and the Bina Abba went into Zer Anpin down his sides. Wait a minute, let me explain. I'm in the Klal who is like this. But his Galus Kavem Soy, that when the middle line is revealed, Mizgalam Kol Shlosha Kavim, it also reveals all the other Kavim, because the middle line incorporates all of the others within it. So therefore, when Das, which is the middle line, the inside, the middle line, he says, Mizgalem Gam Kavi Chochma Bina, it also reveals the other 2 lines, which is the right line, which is Chochma, and the left line was Bina, because he combines them. So therefore we say in this word Megillah, which doesn't have a Yud, Shlosha Mochim Chochma Bina and Das, and that's the reason why we see that what's actually coming out, what is shining out, is the Chabad of Abba. Shkol Echad Mehem Hu Shem Havaya, each one of them is Havaya. V'yachad Olam Ayim Ches Kemisbar Megillah, and they come up to the gematria of 78, which is a gematria of Megillah if you have it without a Yud. And this, I think, is the 13th or the 14th, and I'll figure it out, Shir, on the ARI Kodesh as we go through.